Hello everyone, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody joining us from all around the globe. My name is Yogesh Krishnan, Director of Marketing at Listed Technologies. I'm going to be your host today, and I would like to welcome you all to our webinar titled Arrows in the Quiver, the Tools for the Modern Marketer. In today's session, we'll touch upon some of the key areas for modern marketers and indeed modern marketing technologists to pay attention to and be equipped with to deal with the challenges of reaching out to customers who have ever-decreasing attention spans. Our speakers today will be Anand, Sambasivan, VP of Global Operations at Listed Technologies, and we also have a very special guest speaker, Moseley, VP of Global IT at the leading language learning company, Rosetta Stone. While Anand will cover some of the basic tools required to be effective as a modern marketer, Mark would speak at some length about the journey of transformation that the team at Rosetta Stone went through as they integrated marketing efforts across multiple brands and marketing platforms. We shall follow that up by a Q&A session while you will be muted during the main section of the presentation today. Please feel free to enter any questions by using the webinar panel. So while we start off, let's provide some context around how the role of the marketer has evolved many times for the past several years. Gone are the days of spray and pray when a patch and blast direct mail campaign coupled with heavy spending on TV ads, magazines was what marketing spend meant for the budget. Way back in 2012, Gartner had predicted that the shift of marketing roles would lead towards the intersection of technology and marketing, and we would see the evolution of the Chief Marketing Technology Officer. And that would be something that would take 5 years to start. However, the reality is that the marketing technologist role has become the new normal and is there here and now. Marketing roles come in several flavors, as several of you might be playing. Growth hackers, data scientists, creative technologists, the list could just go on. These roles form the perfect intersection between analytics, creative marketing skills, and software engineering skills. We're seeing that CIOs and technologists, by necessity, are increasingly collaborating with their marketing counterparts, else they find themselves being left on the sidelines by marketers such as yourselves, especially as SaaS-based tools such as responses start being used more and more. New age marketers are intensely aware that technology is, of course, taking a center stage in customer touchpoints, all because they're now selling to a market of one, where in theory customer personas are defined by the digital footprint across email, social, web-based engagement, and offline channels. So what does this all mean for the modern marketer? What do we need to do as we go through the journey themselves? We'll take some time out and listen to Anand Sambasivan talk about some of these points. At this point, Anand is the VP of Global Operations at Listed Technologies, and he brings deep expertise in analytics, digital marketing, and business intelligence with the last 8 years with Lister and 20 years of experience. We'll talk about the arrows that we have in our quiver, and over to you.
Hello, everybody, and thank you, Yogesh, for the introduction. It's a great pleasure to meet you all through this webinar. Thank you for your presence and your time. And I do hope we repay your investment with some good takeaways on data-driven marketing effectiveness. So as the title suggests, I'll take you through 3-point solutions that we have implemented successfully for our customers with significant benefits and returns. All of those 3 solutions enhance consumer experience and also drive engagement levels through improved relevancy, timing, or a combination of both. So I'll be talking about number 1, around discounting, the need for a successful discounting strategy, and the 3-stage implementation process that we typically follow. I'll be talking about SEO, spend time optimization, and how does one improve conversions and customer experience by personalizing email open times. And finally, about sales uplift, typically around cross-sell and how effective use of first-party consumer behavior can improve conversion uptake. And I will also share the 6-stage framework that we use to help organizations embark on their customer-centric data-driven journey. The next slide, we are looking at the discounting strategy as the first solution. So as the title suggests, one size discount doesn't fit anybody. So I'll start the story this way. A couple of weeks ago, there was a short program on Good Morning America where an online shopping tip was shared, where consumers tend to drop their cart deliberately and wait for the second or the third level retargeting messages to come in, fully aware that each succeeding touch point will carry an additional offer. Really, the takeaway for me is that while marketers strategize consumer behavior and enhance brand experiences, consumers are discovering these tactics and in cases taking advantage of them too. Well, the message clearly is that discounts work and more discounts work better. But given that we all have a budget to stick to, how do we optimize or stretch the budget so that it yields the best possible returns in terms of conversions and win-backs? How do we automate the approach and leave it clearly manageable by marketing so that any changes to the strategy can be quickly configured and rolled out? The three-step process or the approach that we had was engagement behavior and how do you aggregate cross-channel responses into a single metric. The second variable that we looked at was latency, essentially the last purchase date, which was converted as an interval variable. And the third aspect was what we call a personalizer. Essentially, it's a matrix of behavioral indicators and personalization actions. In this case, tying up the data or the variables that we had to a series of actionable, personalized content on the marketing platform. Moving on to the next slide, we'll see about how STO has improved marketing effectiveness. And this solution was primarily around optimizing campaign send times for different products and different segments of customers so that communication reaches people the time that they are most likely to open. And while working on the solution, we realized that while opens are something that the solution directly helps with, click-throughs were really a function of efficient content marketing. And the solution had tangible, significant improvements across the board, whether we look at different metrics like opens or click-through rates or AOVs. And the data is there for all of us to see. While the first part of the solution had a good deal of backworking to identify the right time, the right day of the week, categorizing the night owlers and the early birds, the second part had a lot to do with managing the look and feel of the content itself. For instance, the same campaign had a completely different sunny look for the early birds when compared to, the campaigns that went out for the people who read emails pretty late in the day. The four facets that we learned out of this experience, out of implementing this solution across the board, were the analysis aspect of things, where time of the day, day of the week, and the weekend aspect of things really help in finding out when customers read emails. The second aspect of how do you categorize these customers on different buckets based on this data. It's not as easy as it sounds. For example, an early riser could be reading email just before going to bed or vice versa. So how do you really track this and understand what's happening there? And the third aspect was bringing in differential branding. That is very similar campaigns, but going out with very different content suited to early morning risers or people who read emails in the midday and so on. The fourth aspect was learning and testing, building correlations within particular segments beyond just the open times. For example, what is the correlation between people who open emails at night with their demographics, product preferences, and so on. And as we look at the last solution that's going to come up in the next slide, I'll talk about cross-sell and how data, that is first-party data, can help marketers aggregate effectiveness of cross-channel campaigns. I'm sure a lot has been said already about personalization and how consumer data can help improve relevancy, but I really want to talk about the actual framework that we use in order to help marketers implement this process. We call this process Spiral as a step-by-step approach to data-driven marketing. Step 1, S stands for spotting your behavioral data elements. P stands for pooling these metrics into a single repository. I stands for building the integration facets of these data elements into the marketing platform. R stands for building in real-time infrastructure. A for aggregation and objectivizing behavior metrics. And finally, L stands for learning. So the first aspects of these framework really help in identifying the past and the present. And the L aspect, which is the learning aspect, helps in putting in the more advanced, deep analytic frameworks which can help you identify the future or the next best action for customers. For example, how do we target a relatively new customer about whom we have very little data? How do you understand which set of customers are at risk today and who will be at risk in the next couple of months? What is the next best cross-sell for a particular behavioral segment, and so on? So given this framework, there are a host of analytical tools and algorithms that can be employed, like clustering, like classification, association rule mining, etc., which can help you answer some of these questions. And having said all of this, I would like to move on and now introduce Mark Moseley, who is the Vice President Global IT at Rosetta Stone. And he has been responsible for business-critical implementations across e-commerce, CRM, and marketing platforms. And he's here to talk about the fourth arrow, which is trans-promotional marketing, and how Rosetta Stone has rationalized their marketing infrastructure over the last couple of years. Over to you, Mark.
Thank you, Anand. So today I'll be speaking a little bit around the environment from which Rosetta Stone started with its marketing campaigns really 10 years ago, but as they evolved over the past 5 years, and some of the challenges that we were facing and what we've done to solve some of our marketing challenges and really move us towards kind of having the ability and capabilities that Anand and Yogesh have talked about. So as we started out, doing marketing, we found that we had multiple touch points with the customer. We had emails and engagements that were coming not just from our marketing engine, but also from our CRM systems, our order and fulfillment systems, as well as our product. This posed us many challenges. For one, we had to maintain multiple systems for sending emails. That was taking up time of our administration team, server admins. Also, takes resources, compute and storage resources. We have to protect against blacklisting from each of those systems. We have to constantly be validating connectivity, sender scores, capabilities to send, being able to track, trace back, and log our messages from 4 different platforms. So that was a big challenge. We also have legal and regulatory concerns. If you are sending marketing messages to people in Europe or Canada, you may be familiar with their double opt-in requirements, and also in the U.S. with canned spam, where you have to make sure that you're maintaining unsubscribed lists and not sending emails, promotional emails, to people who've unsubscribed or did not double opt-in. If you have 4 different systems that you're maintaining, and you're maintaining 4 different unsubscribed lists, then you could be running afoul of some of these laws and regulations, and you could be at risk. We didn't have a centralized way of managing our brand, which means whenever we wanted to change our logo, change our branding, we had multiple systems that we had to go and interact with, and that was very time-consuming. Also, to be able to view customer interaction. Customers may have been opening our product emails and interacting with those and finding engagement in the emails we were sending there, but they may have not been responding to our marketing messaging. And so we had no real way of seeing that and trying to better our engagement on marketing emails to fit our customer needs. Data quality and consistency concerns. Obviously, when you're running across 4 different systems, keeping data in sync between them. If a person changes their name or if they change their preferences in one system, how do you get that to filter over to your next system? And then, we have data quality and consistency concerns just in general from things that may change in our system. So if our product, as people would go through our product and finish certain steps, that may not make it over to our marketing or order groups to be able to reach out to them about what they might be able to move to next. And then last, when you're sending or maintaining multiple systems, you might be overwhelming your customers with email. If you're sending marketing messages at the same time as you're sending order and fulfillment or product messages, and you're constantly bombarding them with 2, 3, 4 emails right in a row, that can be overwhelming for your customers, and they may not be opening or engaging with any of them. So moving to the next slide to talk about what we did to change the landscape. We started to look at our entire marketing environment. We wanted to look at the attributes of who we were marketing to and why. And we broke it down into the leads that we were getting, which could have been coming from offline capture. We do a lot of trade shows. We do a lot of offline marketing via TV, radio, and print, and so people would call us and give us lead information. We would do third-party referral or lead purchases, and then we would be gathering lots of leads from our website. We looked at our customers, people who are actively purchasing our product, or people who may have been receiving our product as gift recipients. And then our product in general. We have lots of usage data, lots of behavioral data about what people are doing in our product, when they're doing it, what their interactions are. And we started to feed all of that into a marketing engine, collapsing our systems into a single aggregation point where we could do our email sends. One of the other things is inside the marketing engine itself, we were generating billions and billions of rows of marketing data. Every time we would send, that send would either be, it would go to a customer or it would be rejected. If it reached the customer, it might be opened, it might be ignored, it may be opened and someone click on or respond to the email, or there might be an unsubscribe happening. So all of these events were generating lots of data, and having the right marketing engine, we were able to feed that information back in and use that to enhance our campaigns. So we were getting information about our leads, customers, and products, enhancing it with data that we were generating through our campaigns to be able to build better marketing campaigns and have better interactions with our customers. Moving to the next slide, we'll talk about some of the advantages of having this centralized marketing platform. Again, we were able to manage and administrate all of our email at a single repository. If you get a customer complaint or a customer inquiry, or you have opt-in, opt-out, do not contact lists, you're able to deal with it and administer it into a single place. So you start to fix some of your regulatory controls and your legal considerations. We have an easy audit and access controls. This gives us one place where we're able to control who has access to all of our customer data. Before, when we were dealing with multiple systems, a lot of people in the company had broad access to all of our leads, all of our customers, all of our contacts. We were able to tighten that down to just the select marketing and IT personnel necessary to run those systems. In addition, we have a lot of logs that we're able to use to help analyze the customer interactions, and we can audit those interactions whenever we receive a customer complaint and see what was the customer experience at that time. New systems are able to be added and very quickly. So if we have new lead sources or we want to enhance our data stream, as we add products or change how we do our fulfillment and ordering systems, we have a single place where we can push that data to, re-aggregate it, and enhance our marketing campaigns on the fly, rather than having a disparate marketing platform across each of those where we weren't able to share that data with. And then we're able to shrink time between customer interactions and email touch points. This is important. When a customer comes to your site or is referred to you and interacts, you know that they're online and engaging with your product or your platform or your brand right then. So you can start to look at how quickly do you want to reach back out to them. Anand mentioned earlier about customers who might come to your site, add to cart, and then leave, waiting for the response of a new deal or offer to them, where they're starting to game that system. But in some instances, you might want to be reaching back out to people immediately. Did they leave your product? Did they leave your cart? Reach back out to them and engage with them to bring them back into the fold. Not always with an offer, but sometimes with just general engagement, keeping them motivated. So if you're able to shrink that time or interact with them between systems. Perhaps they just purchased the product, so you want to get them engaged in using it right then. You can now share that information between your systems, reach out to the customers, and bring them in immediately. Moving to the next slide, as we've gone through this journey, and I'll say we're still going through the journey because it doesn't stop. There's some tips and lessons that we learned along the way. One is to start with, catalog your customer interactions, incoming and outgoing. One of the things that we found is in creating an exhaustive list of all of our customer touch points and interactions, all of our email sends and the platforms we were dealing with, that no one in our company had the full picture of all of the touch points that customers were having and all of the emails that we were generating and sending. And so cataloging those and exposing our marketing team to all of the opportunities that they have to interact and touch a customer was very powerful. Gone are the days of all marketing is done inside of a marketing message. You have other interaction, engagement emails, you have transactional emails, and those are opportunities to reach out, touch your customer, and push them towards what the next thing might be. And so having that full list will help your marketing team and give you a lot of opportunity to better touch your customers more often when you know that they're going to be engaged. Think about the customer experience that you're going to create. Do you want to constantly be emailing them and be in their inbox? Do you have multiple products and multiple offers that you're going to be showing them? Or is this something where you want to be engaging with them once a week or once a month so as not to exhaust or overwhelm them? And you may be changing that customer experience throughout the year. So having everything in a single system, you can really start to drive the customer experience that you want and make sure that your interactions are cohesive and not disjointed. The third thing that we found that was very helpful is use a middleware to aggregate and transform your data. If all of your systems are pointing directly at your marketing engine, it makes it very difficult in the future if you want to move away from that marketing engine or if you want to change your data model. Middleware is very powerful for enabling data transformation, and it can make sure that you are retaining the data on-premise with your systems so that if you ever want to move or change your marketing platform, it's a lot easier to do it. When I spoke earlier about being able to plug in new systems for new emails, a well-built and well-planned out middleware solution can really aid in speeding up that process. And then lastly, think about how you're going to analyze your marketing for effectiveness. We are generating millions of messages, email messages and responses every day, every week, every month. We have billions and billions of records going back for multiple years. And that is an overwhelming amount of data. We talk about big data platforms, and this is an area that is certainly where big data comes into play. Most marketing platforms are going to give you the capability to analyze this amount of data on that platform. You need to be thinking about how you can bring this back and integrate it into your BI system so that you can analyze data across time, across different campaigns to help drive what your new marketing campaign should look like, because you're not going to be able to do it just inside of most marketing systems. That's all I have. Anand, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mark, and that really was an insightful journey. And thanks so much for sharing it with us. And as we go on to the next section, I leave you with a parting question before we open up the question and answer session. Hopefully this will provoke some thought. Do marketeers really have what it takes to employ these arrows, as we call it, these different point solutions? Are their current infrastructure and marketing platforms and resources really up to taking advantage of these solutions and moving forward? What are the top 3 technology elements that are constraints today for marketeers? In our experiences, we have seen 2 technology bottlenecks, primarily 2 of them, one with data architecture and the second around platform operations and content management. Over to you.
Thank you, Anand, and thank you, Mark, both of you, for talking about some of the core of what the kind of evolution that marketing organizations are going through at this moment. While we have several clients who are helping along the way who are at various stages of the marketing maturity lifecycle, we can also help you assess where you are with the readiness assessment of your platform. You can contact us at the email address given on the slide, and we'll give you a call right away. I want to thank you all once again. And if you do have any more questions, please do drop us a line, and remember to follow us on Twitter and on LinkedIn. Thank you, and have a great day.